Greetings, YouTube. I thought I'd try to end the week on a little bit of good news. This is out of Salem, Oregon. Governor Kate Brown has signed a bill that will make it easier for transgender people in Oregon to update their birth certificates away from public view beginning next year. The measure makes Oregon the second state after California who would adopt laws specifically designed to help mitigate potential discrimination against transgender individuals. House Bill 2673 eliminates the requirements that changes to someone's name or gender identity must be posted publicly by the courts. It also allows court cases involving gender identity change on birth certificates to be sealed. Brown says the bill builds on Oregon's Equality Act, which was a broad non-discriminational law based on gender identity and sexual orientation. The state passed a decade ago. Now, some people might be like, well, what's the big deal about sealing this kind of a law? Well, keeping it out of the public eye. Well, if someone wants to change their gender identity on their birth certificate and it is publicly announced, that leaves a trail that someone that could then research and say, aha, their gender identity has changed. And that could lead to discrimination on the low end of the risk scale, and it could end up in murder on the other end of the scale. Because there are people who will kill you if you are a transgender person. And that's not an exaggeration. Particularly if you are a black transgender woman. Your risk of being murdered is really high. Just because there are people in the world that cannot tolerate the fact that you have chosen to present yourself to the world and to come to accept who you are. Nope, sorry. You're not allowed to be who you are. And if I find out who you are, I will kill you. That has happened. Unfortunately, that has happened a lot. And this kind of a bill will help, at least to a small degree, limit that. There's still going to be a point where someone is very likely going to be telling their potential new partner that they are in fact a transgender person, and that is the risk point. Hopefully, the risk will be mitigated by the fact that they can make the judgment call that this person is not as much of a risk as I think they are. But if someone they don't trust finds out, or a potential boss, or a potential landlord, or a potential in-laws find this out, it could be very bad for a person. Again, just discrimination is the low end of the scale. That's the shallow end of the pool. Things can get a whole lot worse if you're a transgender person. It's an ugly world when you go against the societal standard mode of thinking. When you present a bump in the road, when you rock the boat, so to speak, for just being who you are. That shouldn't become an issue for anyone. But it is. It is an issue. And this kind of a law will help mitigate that to a certain degree. So kudos, Oregon. That's a major step in the right direction. That makes 2 states. That's only 48 more and a couple of territories. So before we get to the point where maybe we'll start treating transgender people the same way as we treat everyone else, as people.